Let me bring in Congressman Raul Grijalva. Congressman, always good to see you. Good morning.
Good to see you, Chris.
The president said today that these programs have saved lives. It's the first time we've heard him use those words. You've said, quote, Senator Obama would not have supported this program under President Bush. Do you think that President Obama is being hypocritical, or does it make sense to you that his thinking has changed, as it has, frankly, for other presidents in similar situations?
One cannot appreciate, the complexity and the pressure of that office. But nevertheless, the issues of privacy, the issues of civil liberties that are dear to the American people are tenets that he supported as a senator and to some extent as a candidate. So one has to worry that, taking the issue of looking in, listening in on the American people as a dragnet and as wholesale, without a due process, without judicial review, in the full context of the word, it's worrisome. And I think the word hypocritical would be too harsh, but there is a contradiction, and I think a lot of people have mentioned that as well, not just myself.
So what does he need to do at this point? Because he would argue, I think, or at least supporters of the programs have argued, that there is judicial review. That's what the FISA court is for.
Well, I think the transparency issue is critical. I think the reassurance to the American people that not everything is a target, that situations are target, that there's protections and due process, and that we're going about it in a transparent way. I think releasing 50 incidents at that hearing was important, but still the scope, the volume, and the size of the effort to listen and to see what people were writing and saying, I think that's what the American people question. I think his job is accountability and transparency, and I think he can do it.
Well, the president is at that historic site in front of the Brandenburg Gate. There's plenty going on where you are on Capitol Hill. So let me switch gears and talk about immigration. The reform movement actually got some good news. That much anticipated report from the Congressional Budget Office concludes that the Gang of Eights bill would cut the deficit by $197 billion. And I want to play what Senator Chuck Schumer said about it.
This report is a huge momentum boost for immigration reform. It debunks the idea that immigration reform is anything other than a boon to our economy and robs the bill's opponents of one of their last remaining arguments.
Realistically, Congressman, do you think the CBO report is going to convince any of your Republican colleagues to vote for this?
I hope those that have been harping on the idea and mimicking the Heritage report that said it was going to cost trillions of dollars to the American taxpayer, this debunks it, as the senator said. And I would hope that those that have harped the loudest about the cost and about the expense to the American taxpayer will now realize that their argument has no standing. It is baseless, and it's not true. And in that sense, hopefully that'll tone down the rhetoric, and we can have an opportunity to have a rational, adult conversation, at least in the House of Representatives, where we need to go with this bill, which is the real jeopardy for comprehensive reform is in the House of Representatives.
Well, let's talk about that, because you and other members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus will meet with Speaker Boehner today, and I want to play what he said about immigration yesterday.
I don't see any way of bringing an immigration bill to the floor that doesn't have a majority support of Republicans.
Does he mean that? Are you concerned that if the majority of his members aren't on board, that immigration might not even come to a vote?
Yeah, you have to contrast with the Senate, where the Senate has been able to beat back amendments that were intended to kill the bill, to sabotage the bill. And in the House, Judiciary Committee continues to follow Steve King's lead and continue to do amendments to legislation that has nothing to do with immigration, has much to do with criminalization. And the Speaker has to understand that the American people want this. And I would hope that as a consequence of our meeting, in which we are saying to him, how can we help to get something right done, that he will understand that the House needs to work its will, and that putting legislation in front of the House, letting us work its will, I think a comprehensive package similar to the Senate would stand a very good chance in the House. The Speaker has to allow that to happen.
Well, we're going to wait with great interest for the results of that meeting that you're going to have with the Speaker. Congressman, thank you so much.
Very kind. Appreciate it.